Buffs Nation, what's going on? Coming back at you with another video. You might have noticed transition over to the tiny mic for my pre-recorded videos. Had some issues with this guy with my phone, but anyways, we had a big win yesterday. Now the day after, wanting to get you some more of my thoughts of the game now that I've had a night to sleep on it and some time to go back and look at the game. Man, again, highly impressed. Love this win. 22-point win for the Buffs. It was 29 points differential before the backups came in, and just a dominant performance. I loved it. And yeah, want to give you my quick insights, quick hitters, give out some virtual or figurative game balls. So let's get to it. First off, incredibly impressed with Shedeur Sanders. Another big day for him, 393 yards and a couple throwing touchdowns, a rushing touchdown. What was so impressive, and I'll link QB Spotlight's video in the description that he put out this morning, because he hit on this as well, is that because we weren't running the ball super effectively throughout the game, we couldn't use a bunch of play action. He was 3 of 6 on play action, which is great. But again, really, Shedeur had to sit back in the pocket, dissect, read these defenses, and hit the open man. And he did a wonderful job of that, especially navigating the pocket on long third downs. Remember when he hit that long 3rd and 15 to Travis Hunter up the sideline? He had some big third down throws to Xavier Weaver. He did a wonderful job navigating the pocket, finding the open space, keeping his eyes downfield, and still making plays. Was highly impressed with his pocket poise and presence. I think we allowed 7 sacks on the day. A couple of those came from Shedeur running out of bounds with pressure. Again, that's something that, we had a different offensive line lineup this week. Atlanta BB coming in there for Jack Wilty. So I need to take a look at the Pro Football Focus grades for the offensive line. But again, both lines are going to they're going to take some time to gel. But Shedeur Sanders, he did a wonderful job. Hats off to him. Speaking of that, one hit on third downs really quickly. 9 of 18, 50%. Man, when you're at least 50% on third down, you're going to have a great opportunity to win the game. And let's get to turnovers here really quick. Nebraska 4 turnovers to 1 on the Buffs that came from Ryan Staub fumbling at the end of the game. So really, we won the turnover battle 4-0 when we're talking about when the game was actually going on. Highly impressed. Man, it blows my mind how a Matt Rule coach team is making these sorts of mistakes. It was ugly. I mean, they kept snapping the ball at the wrong point where it was hitting the motion man and all of that. It really surprised me that they stuck with Jeff Sims throughout the entire game until he got hurt. But credit to CU's defense being there to make these plays, being there to get the ball. I mean, Arden Walker, who else had a fumble recovery? I'm trying to remember. Bishop Thomas had one. And then Jordan Dominic, I think, had the other one. Cameron Silman Craig had a beautiful cut on the route for his interception. And credit him with reading the quarterback's eyes. Jeff Sims was telegraphing where he was going and made him pay with that. So game ball goes to him. Let's talk about Xavier Weaver here real quick. Just another incredible performance, another double-digit game. I think he had 10 receptions last week too. Yesterday, 10 receptions, 170 yards, a touchdown. Love to see that. Travis Hunter, 3 catches for 73 yards in big plays, to help get us in field goal position at the end of the first half. Again, another really big third down conversion, and I think it was a 3rd and 15 in which Shedeur was able to hit him up the sideline. Almost had a touchdown grab. Almost. He's been close 2 weeks in a row. I think he'll get his first one against Colorado State. Y'all let me know what you think. Another shout out with Javon Antonio out. We saw some more Tarvarish Dawson on the field, and man, was he electric today. Big time touchdown. Let's see if I have the numbers on that. 30-yard touchdown for Tarvarish Dawson. That was a beautiful route and just beautiful ball placement by Shedeur. Like, he was open. It was so funny with how they designed this play. you had like 5 DBs around Tarvaris Dawson, but he was still wide open, if that makes sense. Beautiful play design and wonderful catch. Credit to him for that. And then on an awesome reverse within the red zone, taking that in for a touchdown run. It was beautiful. Loved the offense, loved the passing game. I believe it was Cavassier Smoke said today on Twitter or yesterday, we got the best wide receiver group in the nation. How can you doubt that with how they are playing incredible ball. And I want to give credit to the defense. They really stepped up. There were a couple big plays. I think we gave up, of course, the long touchdown run to Jeff Sims. There were a couple other long runs by the running backs, but overall did a very good job of containing Nebraska. Let me see if I have the rushing yard totals here to take a look at. But they did a much better job this time around. Okay, 41 attempts, 222 yards, 5.4 average. I don't know what the average was against TCU. I think they ran the ball less, but man, it was great to see with how often they were running the ball that we were up for the challenge. We were up for the challenge of them playing smash mouth football, and we forced them into errors. We definitely did that. Also, some big time plays again from Jordan Dominic. We had some defensive sacks. I want to say Taj Alston had a sack and a half. I forget who had the other half sack. Maybe it was Leonard Payne. I'm trying to remember, but overall was getting better pressure on the quarterback this week compared to last week. Love to see that. I don't even think they threw at Travis Hunter once. Amari Cooper, I don't even know if he gave up a reception either. The secondary looked great. Carter Stoutmeyer came in with a couple clean up on some tackles. Shiloh had some great open field tackles as well. Overall, the defense did a much better job this time around, and so credit for them to clean some things up. There's definitely some things that they still need to clean up in terms of run gap discipline, specifically with these design runs and read options. But again, we got some time to figure that out. Hopefully with CSU, we can see us get right some of these things, before we head into conference play. Now, there are a couple other things I did want to hit on. One, they didn't show this on the broadcast. I think we need some more cameras on the field in general for the broadcast or the in-game entertainment at Folsom, because I might have missed it. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong if you were at the game, but I didn't see them feature the turnover thrown on the big screen or anything like that. Sponsored by Icy Breeze. Man, I saw that after the game and after I talked with y'all. That thing looks freaking awesome. So getting to sit in the turnover thrown after you're forcing 4 turnovers, that's awesome. And I would have loved to see that on the game screen, along with all the other Hall of Fame players, all the celebrities, all the musicians that were there. I mean, we had a ton of people there at the game. Wu-Tang Clan, we had Stephen A. Smith, Shannon Sharp there. We had a bunch of old-time buffs that were there as well, along with Michael Irvin, Terrell Owens. I mean, just a bunch of guys came in to watch this game. And I mean, what a better way to experience this, as a recruit. I mean, if you're coming here yesterday for that visit, I don't think we're going to have a problem losing any more recruits to Matt Rule after this performance. And again, this week it was personal. It was wonderful to see the Buffs live up to that challenge and really not take their foot off the gas the entire game. So that was wonderful to see. A few other things that I want to hit on, if I have it here. Penalties. That's something else that I do want to see us clean up a little bit more. 9 penalties for 80 yards. Not terrible, especially with some of those. I felt like they were kind of ticky-tack. Obviously they're going to call the Shedeur Sanders 15-yarder for taking off the helmet. I don't mind that kind of stuff at all in a rivalry matchup like this where we're really putting it on them. And by the way, I thought that was a catch. Sure looked like a catch to me by Anthony Hankerson. But Nebraska played pretty disciplined football, 6 penalties for 40 yards. They did have some backbreaking penalties, which extended drives, but I would like to see our offense clean up some of those penalties as we move forward. And credit to Nebraska. Looking back at the game today, they were very good at their open field tackling. They did not allow a ton of big plays like TCU did with us last week. And so credit to them. They were a better defense this week than we saw against TCU. And it took us a little bit to figure things out. I do think that I do wonder like why we didn't play at a very fast pace in that first half. That's something against CSU that I would still like to see us come out and do, is playing at a very fast pace, making the defense, because again, when you are moving fast, where you're snapping the ball every 20 seconds or so, every 30 seconds or so, the defense sometimes doesn't have the time to line up, get their coverages correct, and then you see blown coverages. I mean, we saw that against TCU last week, and I think that allowed Nebraska, their defense, to kind of stay in the game a little bit. So y'all let me know your thoughts. Overall, I love the experience being at the game yesterday. Hope you enjoyed some of the pictures and footage that I shared earlier from being at the game. And it was, at the beginning, I was kind of like, man, it's kind of cringe that we're, storming the field after a 22-point win. But again, it's a signal of what is to come. And we're back. We want to celebrate that with all the talk Nebraska fans and Nebraska players and coaches did throughout the last 9 months. It was very satisfying to go out there and get the win in the fashion that we did. And again, like I said on my live stream, we did it in our black jerseys, just like our practice uniforms that people were criticizing us for looking small the whole season long, or the whole off season long. We came in and whooped some corny butt. That's right. So y'all let me know what you think in the comments. I'll be back with a video later today. And as always, go Buffs.